Hi folks, welcome to the Team GSP podcast. We've an addition of Ger today to the usual team. We're just chatting strongman, chatting comps, all that. We said we'd recap Worlds to start off. So I suppose as a competitor, Ger, how did you find the whole thing?
Yeah, it was a lot more entertaining than last year, I thought. A lot more countries were representing. It was a great show, long, but you're going to get that with the field. There was like 140 athletes, I think.
I think it was 148 or something.
148, and then I think the year before was 100.
Oh, there wasn't even 100. I think it was 100
yeah.
sign-ups, but like we had maybe 80 something in the end.
So it really leveled up, obviously, in the numbers. The attendance was very good. People in the crowd. Venue was class, I thought. It was a bit smaller than last year, but the atmosphere was better.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot, I have to say. It was my favourite of the two.
Cool.
Very good.
And as far as your performance, how are you feeling about it all? Like second strongest natural man in the world is a very fucking good accolade.
Another silver medal from my trophy cabinet. But no, I was happy enough. I mean, to come back after the first event, I had a bit of a nightmare. Dropped my head a little, but then picked it up again, and then, second's not too bad. The guy who won it is Czech Republic's strongest man, so he's a pro. So it's not bad company to lose to, but next year I have to win it next year. I have a bronze, I have a silver, I need a gold.
You have to go for the gold now,
Finish it off. As a ref, you were all day, you were loading for 2 days and reffing and setting up. How did you find the whole thing?
I think just like being a referee and stuff like that, when you got so many athletes, like just having the mentality of just trying to stay focused for each one. It was definitely, I think, probably one of them very nervous to do this competition refereeing, like just because of like the standard that's there, and like you got people traveling from all over the world, and it's like you want to be able to give the best competition, the fairest competition towards them. And I think overall, I don't think there was really any too bigger complaints about refereeing or anything like that. Everybody seems to be kind of relatively happy with it. Like, I think it's just like the logistics wise, you got 148 people, and it's like it's 10 hours, roughly, or 10 or 11 hours each day. But it's like there's only kind of so much you can kind of get through with it. Like, but considering it was like the biggest competition we've ever run, I'm very kind of happy with how it went. To be honest, like I mean, there could have been a lot more fuck ups on it, considering like everything that was going into it. So I think we done a pretty good job on it. I think the whole crew should be very happy with themselves. Like it was a brutal build up to it, but I think once the competition got going, it made the whole thing worthwhile. Like as I said, you've seen all these athletes coming from Australia, Canada, America, all over the world. It was just like absolutely phenomenal. Like for them to take their time out to come over to the west of Ireland to compete was absolutely
nuts,
crazy. Crazy.
I remember after Frame, I was just fried. Like it was days of fuck all sleep. I remember I was like, I'm just going to go sit in the stand and drink a Monster. I was like, I want to go to bed. I want to leave. I just wanted to leave halfway through the day. And I remember I sat up in the stands at the top. I was looking down, and I think it was Megan Clark and Elisa Hessel. So it was Australia versus where's Elisa from? The Netherlands, in the Hootsveld carry. And I was like, these people have travelled from across the world to do a comp that I'm running. I was like, it blew my mind. I was like, second wind, I am back. And my energy was back up again. It was just insane.
I think I kind of wish I got a better chance to go around and talk to more of the athletes. Like I tried my best to go around and just a small bit, but like there's so much going on. Like you're very limited. Like, but like it seems like everybody there was in good form. Everybody was really enjoying themselves. Like so, that's the main thing.
I think for next year, the year after, wherever Natural Strongman Worlds is going to be, we need to have like double crew. We need to, because it's so hard on you all. Like, I think you had a photo up of Cilléin in the end, just lying on the power stairs.
My wife recorded that.
Oh, really?
Sent me the material. But I watched him and I was like, thank God I'm lifting and not spotting. Definitely a tough job. So fair play to himself and everyone else, Jack. Alexi, all the guys. Comp wouldn't go ahead without those people.
No, not
very
at all.
appreciative.
I think that's one of the big things that sometimes people forget is like your athletes. If you don't have the athletes, you don't have a comp. But if you don't have that crew to run it, you can have all of the dream and all the organisation that you want. But if you don't have the refs and the loaders and the people actually making those wheels move, then you don't have a comp.
And I genuinely think for Worlds next year, we actually need like everyone we had, and then a whole another set of them,
definitely.
so that everyone can have a proper break.
Definitely,
But you see, the thing is, right, we didn't have John.
Didn't have John.
John was actually competing. He had an easy 2 days.
John's 5 lads. Like.
yeah. He is.
John's as good as 5 lads.
He actually is, yeah.
But no, it's an amazing organisation now, and it's because of the people, the backbone.
Yeah.
Because like without that, we'd be back in Finland doing a wheelbarrow chase. You know what I mean? Like no one wants to do that.
Yeah.
You know, so
you obviously weren't impressed with what you seen in Finland.
No, well, I haven't done it, but just looking at it, I wasn't impressed. But the standards literally elevated for natural scene.
I think as well, one of the biggest things that for me was that it was pretty much a truly representative of Worlds.
Yeah.
It was the countries.
Yeah.
The representation, if you look at that, like I said, we had people, how many from South Africa? 2 from South Africa.
2 guys from South Africa over.
We had a gang from 6 or 7 from Australia, if not more.
I think there was 11 from Australia and like 13 from America. And there was a few Canadians as well.
Nearly every continent, isn't it? I think there's a couple more South Americans and Asia.
Yeah.
And then you're
absolutely,
done.
we're laughing. It was a real good representation.
Yeah, I think there was a better spread at Natty Worlds than OSG Worlds.
There was.
You look at OSG Worlds, it's mainly America, Canada, and it's like you do get the odd Europeans and stuff
friends.
like that. And friends,
But
but other than that though, I think it was like definitely we had a lot more representation for Natty Worlds this year than most other comps.
Well, I think like I went to get the flags, and I remember some of the countries where I was like, I don't even know what that flag looks like.
Yeah.
I'm having to do the list, and I think it's 18 flags I had to get in the end of 15 or 18 countries I think
18,
were represented.
No, 19. We had
19,
a tricolour, so
sorry.
you probably got 18
Oh
flags.
yeah. So 19.
Of course.
That's phenomenal. Like that's really is.
But Ireland, it's a cool country to go to as a tourist and
Absolutely.
lifter, and it's in literally central.
Yeah.
You don't need a visa like ETSA or anything like that. That's why I think in America going to OSG, it's like there's a barrier to entry for some competitors. Cost as well, like you could spend like $2,000 getting over there. Whereas I think Ireland's getting there is just a little cheaper.
Yeah.
I never actually thought of it until I think someone said it at Worlds. Even coming from Australia, it's easier to come from Australia to Ireland than to go to America. Because you look at the map, you're like, why don't they just go that way? And then, but they don't. They come across the world.
I think it's like 30 hours versus 45. It could be 45 to get to America.
Wow.
That's we've Dupree's coming up from South Africa, but he's like, Ireland's actually not that hard to get to.
Really, yeah.
But to go to America, it would take him the guts of like 50 hours, I'd say,
insane,
with all the layovers and he probably 3 flights, like, whereas 2 to Ireland.
We often say we forget that. We forget like how accessible we actually probably are to the rest of the world. We're plumped in the middle of the Atlantic, you know what I mean?
Like, so you have loads of companies setting up in Ireland too. Like that's not just.
And that's why like you fly into Dublin. There's a bus from the front of Dublin Airport that drives right up in the middle of Galway City, and Galway City's tiny, so it's just easy to get around.
Absolutely.
I think as well that the athletes had actually place to stay. Like I know, like NUG kind of helped out with the accommodation for some people, like, and that alone is huge when you're traveling and stuff like that. Just to know you actually got a place close to the arena, you don't have to worry about it, you don't have to walk anywhere, you don't have to pay extra money for it. Like, so it was definitely a nice touch for it.
Did you take advantage of that by any chance, or did you get somewhere else?
No, I got a little hostel room. It was actually nice, I have to say. I had my own room with the wife, and we had our own kitchen. So I like to have like full cooking appliances. Funny enough, actually, it was the same spot I had my stag, the same place I was staying. So I was in the kitchen the morning of the comp getting ready, and I was like, why do I have this like queasy feeling? It's like 2 years or a couple of years before that, I was getting sick in the sink. So that was funny. No, I forget the name of it now, but it's just around the corner from the shopping centre. Okay. But it's a nice spot, I have to say. Free parking. Free parking. So. But I always said if I didn't live in Dublin, I'd live in Galway. It's my second favourite county. So I'm sure everyone that came over here, you saw them, they took photos with the natural stones.
Yeah, the natural stones. A few of the lads actually did the tour around in the natural stones.
Yeah, so it's like a cool place to go as a tourist after you're done lifting.
And I was saying, I think some of the lads, like the ones that were coming from real far, so I think Megan Clark and one of the other girls, I can't remember her name, they were over here for like a good week.
Yeah. After, to make a holiday.
Yeah, so literally make the holiday. So yeah, it's a good spot. We have, I suppose, when the weather's good. I had to laugh at lads because the following week the fucking sun was my god.
They got bad weather when they were here for it. But what can you do? Like they get good weather all the time. They probably want to see some rain.
It was an indoor comp, thankfully.
Thankfully,
it's cool. No, it was. I said, I think we've all got learning curves. I think from the moment the morning it started, I still have a list of things that for next time if we're doing it or when we do it again that will change and will improve, and it makes that whole organisation our side easier, and it's a better experience then for the athletes, which is what you need.
It was the first time dealing with something on that scale, in fairness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So all
I remember when I
cups-
looked on Saturday morning into the warm-up room, and all the people were there and their handlers, and I was like, holy shit, I'm in over my head. I did not, it was such a massive amount of people, and the stand was starting to fill, and I was like, what is going on here? It was just so much.
Yeah.
It's uncharted territory for strongman to have that many classes. Like, I haven't seen that since Powerlifting Worlds.
Yeah.
And they can go on hours as well.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, OSG like has a small class. Like, it's not a ton of athletes. It's like
Not many. Don't have as many options.
I think it's like 5 or 6 categories, if I remember rightly. I'm trying to think. And visually
because
fit
we've got
women
the
and
57 women and all that as well.
we also in OSG they're clever with the way it's like top 10 qualify for
the
the
final day.
So
But they do 2 events a day.
2 events a day,
And that's it each day, and then on the final day it's only the top 10 from each category. So that makes things a lot quicker. Like
but Natural Worlds, that's like the first time we've ever seen a comp of that scale, that magnitude.
Absolutely.
So there's obviously going to be some teething problems. You were saying before, I think an AM PM session.
Yeah, I think if we get the arena set out where, like, say your static events are all set and ready to go, and your moving events are back here, essentially you have like your 3 or 4 events ready to go, and then you bring in, say, I don't know, the first 3 categories of the women, and then they do all their 4 events, and then they can head off and go home.
Yeah.
And then we bring in the next lot of women, and then and then we go through. You nearly do 3 or 4 bouts throughout the day, like. And that way, all your changes weights, because all the events are set and ready to go the whole time. You don't have to like get rid of, like we done the log ladder, then we have to get rid of everything. And then get the frames out. Right? That's a lot of work. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
I think it makes it better for viewing as well, because say if you want to watch the 64 women, or you have a family member competing in it for the live stream, they can get in, they can watch the 64 women in a 2-hour period, 2.5 hour period. They can get on with their day then, rather than like watch an event and then for the next 3 hours you're trying to figure out when they're up again. Like.
Exactly.
So it's
like,
kind of
like even for you, like you do your log press at around 12:30, 1:45.
Yeah,
and then you done your power stairs then about close to 11 o'clock. Like.
Was it that late?
It was
wasn't that late.
It was
You're over-exaggerating.
it was at least 10. Like
It
it
was
was
back
definitely
in
10.
the gym with pizza, but you didn't go back there at 10:30, so.
It must have been around 10 around.
It was around 10, I'd say.
It was
Yeah.
quarter 10. Yeah, I have the
It's around quarter
screenshot
to
somewhere.
10.
Yeah,
Around
it's
quarter to
screenshot,
10.
Yeah.
But there was like there's
still-
no one left in the
That was
crowd.
everybody had
because,
gone at that point. Like.
I remember
but
actually-
the support from the spotters and loaders
Yeah,
there
that was
was
enough.
great.
Yeah.
Like that was enough.
But I remember Jade and that was saying, we were talking about it, and I said like, oh, I bet everyone had gone off the live stream. She goes, no, we actually said at call out at one point going, oh, if there's anyone still out there. And all of a sudden, the comment section blew up. So there were still people that were actually hanging out to watch the opens, like, so.
Class.
Which is another thing, I suppose, going to that live stream is the importance of having that there, especially when you have people traveling from all around the world, different time zones. I remember the Australian lads were saying that people were actually staying up all night to watch. And like going to bed like 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's fucking nuts. Like, you see people do that for the UFC and stuff like that. Like,
Well, I think the last time I remember that was for big
Yeah.
dogs. This guy used to come home at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Security, and I'd put on big dogs.
I'd
I'd never missed it, like.
never,
And it was always started at like stupid o'clock in the morning because it was Australia.
And that was for nobody you knew personally. That was just to watch.
Never
big
even an
dogs.
Irish guy there.
Yeah. That's back again this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, but it's just the importance, I suppose, of having that available and the fact it was there.
And making it more viewable as well. I think making it a better watch is important. So yeah, I suppose next thing is what you have on the cards and you might have on the cards, sure.
Yes, great tell.
What's happening next weekend?
Yeah. Well, who knows? Not many people know what's happening next weekend.
Oh yeah,
but,
that's
we just about know what's happening. Yeah.
So the official Ireland, the official Strongman Ireland is on.
Yeah, whatever. I don't even know what the name of the comp is, but it's the Giants Live Qualifier, Irish Giants Live Qualifier.
Nicky will like that.
Yeah.
Giants Live Ireland Qualifier.
Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it. Don't get myself in trouble. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like it's like I think we spoke about this before. Being like an open male athlete in Ireland can be just very tricky, like because you're very limited. Like just 3 potential competitions you can do. You can do the Natty Irelands, you can do Glenn's Irelands, or you can do this.
Irish Strength Cup.
Irish Strength Cup. This Irish Strength Cup as well. Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah. But I'm on comps to like go on something else. Like
course,
so, it's like like last year, it was last minute kind of thrown together. But we spoke about this before. How like Mark McGovern really put in a lot of effort to promote us, and I do believe that without Mark, it wouldn't have been as good of a show as it was last year. And I think that is kind of showing now this year that it's like you know, because I'm people are asking me, do you have a comp coming up? And like, oh yeah, I'm competing next week. And I'm like, what comp are you doing? Like everyone's so surprised when I tell them that this comp's actually going on. Like, and you know, it's a bit frustrating when you see, you know, Scotland's, Wales, England's, and all that. Like, because like, you know, the desire is there not for the Irish Open athletes to do it, but it's just like if it's not put together properly, you know, it's a bit frustrating. Like, but at the same time, you just got to put all that aside. At the end of the day, my goal is go in there and win and get myself into Giants Live. And you know, if I do that, then I have both Irish titles for Ultimates and Official Strongman. Like, so you got to put the bullshit aside, just keep the head down and just get the job done. Like, obviously with 7 athletes, it makes it a lot more difficult because, you know, if you coming fourth usually in the comp, if you got like 10 or 12 is not bad, but if you only got like 7 athletes, coming fourth is shit. Like, so I think it's gonna be one of those things you got to stay top 2, and if you make any bit of mistake, there's no coming back from it in this competition. Like, and you know, although the numbers are limited, there's still a fairly good, decent caliber of athletes doing it there. Like, it's not like, you know, it's not just a bunch of nobodies. Like, you know, there's some strong boys going into this. Like, so it's definitely going to be a tough competition, without a doubt. It's definitely going to be a very, very difficult one.
What do you feel about it, Ger?
Yeah, I feel like, last 6 years they've only contested 3 Ireland's Strongest Men. Like, there was a period of 3 years where Pa was just given the invite. You know, which is absurd, really, when you think about it. For a sport, like, you can't just go based on previous performance. Like, he may have been the strongest in the country at the time, but you got to prove it. And I think that's why we're seeing now the lack of effort put into this competition compared to Scotland. Like, winning that Scottish one there last weekend is a huge privilege. Everyone wants to do it. 25 guys. Like,
in
I don't
final,
think Ireland has never had that many open men.
No. I think I've seen maybe like 18 in the qualifier for like one of Glenn's comps, but like when it comes to the finals now, like their qualifiers, they get like 40 people doing it.
Which is
huge numbers.
Huge. And we can't, the same population, like with, you know, similar population.
It's basically the same. I think we might have more people in Ireland.
We might even have more.
Include Republic and
South. But the problem is when you hold it in a gym up north, that's 3 hours away from Dublin. And as heavy as that comp is, a lot of guys don't want to do it because if the promoter's not going to put the effort into promoting it, why are people going to do it? You could, you know, the time you have to prep, like you only found out it was going ahead on that specific date, maybe like 2 months ago, 8 weeks ago.
About, if even,
But there was last year was less.
Last we had six weeks last year.
Last year was 6 weeks. I remember 2019, I did the one in 2019. It was 3 weeks notice. You know, I mean, we can joke about it, but these are heavy comps. You know, you can really hurt yourself.
That's what happened to me last year. Like,
and if you really want to give Ireland the chance at Britain's, whoever goes over, bear in mind, like, this is the closest qualifier to Brits, so whoever wins is going to be at a
bit of a disadvantage.
Going into Brits. Less time to get ready. You know, so it needs to change. Move it away from November, October time. Mid-year, make it in a proper venue, good crowd. Hold a qualifier for it if you want, just to establish.
I think a qualifier would be good.
Just to give it that importance. It's like, because usually it's a Facebook post. I hate Facebook when it's like that, and it'll say, anyone that thinks they're strong enough. That's the criteria of entry. Anyone that thinks they can do it. Not at this level, not at this day and age.
Not this day and age.
You need a qualifier, and it's only 2 steps away from World's Strongest Man.
It is.
With the right events, this man could actually get there.
Absolutely.
You know, a few other guys, you know, in Ireland are really good, but they've just never been given the platform. You know, Ultimate Strongman in Ireland is very good. It was class this year, but unfortunately, it doesn't get you the guaranteed worlds. This is the only way to do it. I looked at the way you did the weight classes. I was actually tempted to cut to 105 because of how. Well, I'm not that far away. But the amount, how good it was, you know, and the crowd, the venue, and you have that pathway to OSG. I don't know when we'll see that for Opens. You know.
Do you think? I'm going to throw the cat out there now, right? Do you think that it's just that Pa has been that force or that personality for so long now that OSM, everyone can say the right way. OSM, not OSG. That OSM are just not bothered at looking at Ireland. It's a complacency, or
I'm gonna
no one's pushing for it.
Put myself out there and say no. Like I like Dave Warner. He's fucking sound. We're good mates. He's just not organised enough to put it together and to promote the event. I think that's all it is.
Yeah,
that's my first.
But do you not think OS? Do you not think like Darren and whoever also have an onus on that to go? Well, where are the Irish? Yeah. Surely it's not just Pa. Like at this stage.
If Pa doesn't do this one, I'll be the only guy that done the last 3. Well, if I do this one.
Yeah.
But genuinely, if I actually do this one next weekend, I'll be the only guy that's done the 3. 2019, last year, and this year. 2019, Pa won by a point. McCoy almost beat him. A 110 kilo man.
Yeah.
Yep.
It didn't show that Pa was head and shoulders ahead of everyone else. No. You know, and there was guys missing that day as well because you had the Cerberus Cup the week before.
Yeah.
Last year he didn't win. Sean Gillen won.
Yep.
You know, there's you could argue with some events. If you throw Farmers Walk in there, Pa's not going to do well on it.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier about points, how many guys are doing it? Because in 2019 it was a frame hold that almost cost them. There was a period like Daniel McElroy is very good. He should be doing it. But Sean O'Hagan's a great strongman. Obviously he's not around.
No, not at the moment.
I think there was good talent in Ireland, and just unfortunately, like you say, there just wasn't an organiser there the last couple of years to push it forward. We saw at the Irish Strength Cup. Do I think Pa would have won that? I don't think so. Not those events.
No.
That showed me that was the top. How many 10 lads was that? 8, 10?
10.
That to me that was top 10 in Ireland.
I think it's just when I think there was an excerpt from a podcast there a couple of weeks back where Dan Hipkiss turned around and was like, there was obviously some question about Pa and about Ireland and it's because the rest of them aren't good enough, they're not strong enough, and it really pissed me off actually when I actually heard that, because if that's the mentality of people thinking that way, who is failing you? So if it is a case of where's the promotion for the open lads now, and I know that you're very limited with what you have, like where do you go from that? Who's going to push that, I suppose?
Well, it falls on ambassadors as well. Like we say, Pa was an ambassador for the sport. He's meant to be. You know, 5-time Ireland's strongest man. Still has it in his bio, even though he's not current. But like last year, for example, it's like, are you doing it? He's like, oh, maybe not. You know, we'll see.
Like you.
But like imagine the guy who's number 1 saying that. He's treating the competition with such disrespect. He's treating this guy with such disrespect. This guy almost beat him. He just got injured. And he beat him this year. I fancy beating them this year. Those events, anyone could win them. But so it's because of him as well. Because if you look at other countries, Gav Bilton does Wales' strongest man because he's proud to be Wales' strongest man. The Stoltmans don't do Scotland because they allow the other guys to come up and win. But they are, like, we've seen the amount of guys that do, and the pride that they.
Huge.
You've got Chris Beadham who's done it like how many times? Like 5 or 6 times.
And
it means like everything to them.
Doesn't it?
It means everything to them. But this, it's just the way this comp's been treated. It's like people don't even know we're doing this.
No, it's not.
I think that's a big,
you know.
You're not doing it.
So what's your story? Are you doing it?
I'm just doing it to see if Pa's there. It's genuine, and to help him. I'd love him to win it. Genuinely. I know he's beaten me a couple of times there.
It's like WWE tag team.
But genuine. If I could help, like last year, I didn't have a fantastic performance, but I beat Pat at Yoke, and that's all he needed to do, and he didn't win. That's all he needed to do. Just beat him at one event, take points off him. But like, if I could help him, Pip, Sean, and Pat, if Pat does it, there's no better man to go. He's strong, and he actually gives back to the sport. Like he was at Worlds, spotting and loading. You did the Irish Strength Cup in memory of a friend. These other lads could have shown up as well and given thanks to Mark. Even just do a lift, one event.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't even occur to them because they don't give back to the sport. Sean Gillen was a good champion, he's strong, but I haven't seen him do anything for Ireland. With the caveat, he's from Australia, like he's over in Australia, so you know, at least he's not going around on social media acting like a donkey, like the other guy. You know what I mean? But they just look stupid on us, you know. Like I mean, you can have a laugh. I love having a laugh too. But you kind of need to give respect back to.
I think so. Yeah.
Remember when you won and you censored your face?
It burned me out.
You got to give that back.
I think as well, and I said this to you before in one other podcast. One of the best things that I took from the Strength Cup was all of you guys, right? But there's a picture of you sat next to Rory, and I know the conversation you had with Rory at that point, and that is something I think that you have never had anyone do for you or for you at the times when you should have had that to push you forward. So I get exactly where you're coming from. That
Yeah, that support level should have been coming from the top.
Yeah.
The guys at the top at the time, like.
But I'm feeling for him. Remember when he came second his first time? You're only like 24, 23?
24 in the first
24.
Yeah.
Pa puts up the photo, censors his face on the podium. Had a laugh at it. But you got to be both. You can be funny, but you have to be like the good guy, bad guy. You know. But I've never seen Pa being the good guy. Like just a quick word to Cilléin. You're going to do great. You know, you have a huge future.
Exactly.
Such simple words, but he wouldn't. His ego wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
So remember even the.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's.
Well, it was like even the interview at Giants Live, and he was asked about. You know, somebody asked, he was like, you know, do you want to talk about the up and coming talents in Ireland?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, plenty of fine women in Ireland.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, the
I was
women.
just like, you like, and like this is why people don't take Ireland seriously, is because you see that's at the top. And so it's just like, you know, if you can't take the top seriously, why take everybody else seriously?
Everyone's face, well, a few guys were laughing, but if you zoom in on Terry Holland's face, he's just like this fucking guy. You know, because a guy like that would know, you know, he's like a nearly 40-year-old man making fun of his sport that kind of made him who he is. You know, I don't know. You know, I mean, he's going around calling people the C word online, you know, says a lot about a man.
Is there some slating going on here? I barely said 2 words on the podcast.
I'm not even saying, I don't even have a background of him at his funeral. Do you remember that last year?
All we're doing is we're just saying things that have happened.
I know,
like,
and I think
just like, you know, show up.
I've heard this from other people as well. It's not just ye saying it. Like
it's not hidden in Ireland, I think.
I'd like the best in the country to show up with right events for everyone. No complaints. Winner is the best in Ireland.
Undisputed.
And it's especially
undisputed. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, I get frustrated when you see like the amount of effort and progress that we've made over the last couple of years. Like, you know, we get in Ireland alone, like about 150 people competing like in total throughout our competitions throughout a year. Roughly about maybe 100, 150.
Yeah, probably 150 up to 200.
200, and like that's going from like, you know, from having no novice, no inters, no weight classes to bringing in 150, 200 new people, but the opens has gone backwards. And it's just like how when you literally got the ones who are at the top, it's just going backwards and no progress, but everything else is like ramping up because it's like there's so much talent in this country. You're seeing there in Natural Worlds, like the level of the weight classes. Like, we got multiple world champions in the country. We got multiple people who are knocking on the door of being world champions. A lot of youth coming up there. And it's just like, it's very frustrating when it's just like people don't take it seriously just because of, you know, fucking one person. And then you got, like I said, you know, if the promoters aren't going to take it seriously, why the athletes aren't going to take it seriously? So it's like, you know, I don't know, and you know, some people might say that like what we're saying now is, you know, we might be being fucking ungrateful or just stirring shit, but like,
well, how are you being ungrateful?
I won't say ungrateful, but people might say we're just trying to say this to start shit. But maybe we are, because like something has to change. You know, you got to be vocal about this at some point, because if everyone's just quiet about it, it's like nothing's ever going to really change.
I think you're just being honest. I mean, again, like if you look at England's, if you look at Scotland's last weekend, you know, great spectacles, loads of athletes.
Huge spectacle,
you know, whereas, and I said it earlier as well, we were talking about comps and gyms. We run comps and gyms. Comps and gyms can be class. Even high level comps. Abs. Clash of the Titans. Unbelievable, right? Now, I know it's a different sport, but it's a comp and a gym. They can be amazing. They can create an unbelievable atmosphere, really intense stuff. But the athletes create that, the promoter creates that, the build-up creates that. Whereas at the moment, you're seeing no build-up. And because of that, you're not seeing athletes. And it's not I don't think the location is not, no, maybe it's really far away. But that's not geographically. But I think like a gym isn't an issue, I don't think.
No, but it's the context, because it's last minute and it's just bundled together.
It's the rest of it.
Like your Christmas present from your distant uncle, just thrown into a little bag and given to you. And just 3 hours, man. Oh, like the thought of it, just to go over there to spectate.
Like
watch this guy win. Hopefully, you better win, man. I swear to God, if you get injured again. We're here next year in the same podcast. You gotta win. You gotta push Ireland on the map.
Jack can't carry you anymore, man.
I can't, bro.
And I
could have done that last year, actually. Did the yoke with him on me as
well. Like, to be honest, I don't blame the other open lads who are not doing it. Because to be honest, there are reasons for not doing it. They've got good reasons, and it's like, to be honest, like if I wasn't trying to, like, you know, become professional in the sport, I probably wouldn't even bother doing this either, because I'm just like, why the fuck would I do when the people running it don't even care? But it's the fact that I am, like, you know, I take this seriously and I'm trying to make a career out of it, that I'm left with no choice but to do this. So it's just like, for the lads that are listening, like, if I really don't blame you for not doing this competition, because like it's kind of exhausting, everything like that, how messy it is and all the complications to it. Like it's just a bit, I won't say daunting, but like, it can be a little bit off-putting, like seeing that it's just like how unorganized and messy the whole situation's become at this point.
Daniel McElroy, though, you can blame him.
Yeah.
He should have done it last year.
He should have done it last year.
So should Gavin.
He should have done it.
Gavin. Actually, you know what? I like Gavin McNamee. He's a really good dude, but all the shy talking and he doesn't show up to a comp. Twice, Ireland's strongest man, Ultimates, and joins last year. The shy talk from him in the group chat and he doesn't show up, man. So those two lads should be here.
So,
But no, I get what you're saying, because if the promoters are going to put the effort in, why should the athletes show up? I get, but it's a catch-22. If the athletes were all to show up, like if you got 15 of the best in Ireland,
be amazing.
It would be amazing.
Amazing show. Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Like last year, but had Gav, Daniel, I think there's one or two other guys on missing. Connor Kenny,
he was just getting into it. Like, he was getting there.
Alexi could do it.
As a guest anyway.
As a guest,
But like you could definitely push it.
So like, what would you? There's obviously a lot of frustration because there's just been ranting here now for the last fucking 20 minutes.
I started it.
So what would you like to see? Like, do you want to see qualifiers and then into the finals? What, like, is it venues? Is it just more athletes? More
just communication, and just we know what we're doing. We know exactly what day it's happening. And with a good time in advance, like not like just like everything just kind of thrown together last minute, like just a clear, just have it just clear and concise, so you know where you stand with it. Like, because at the moment it's just you don't know where you stand. You're kind of waiting, anticipating, and it's like like because this is like I could have done other shows, you know what I mean? Like, but I was putting other shows off so I could make sure I could be clear for this one. Like, I was thinking about maybe doing the Madrid competition for the Arnolds, like, but it was just like, I don't know when Dave's comp's going to be, so, and either, it's just stuff outside of Strongman, just life stuff that it's just like, oh, I don't know if I can do that family thing or this friend thing because I'm, waiting to get this date for this competition. And
I do three things. I'd set up an Instagram page for it. That's not Dave Warner coaching, like an actual specific page. I would put up the entry list of all athletes, active list, everyone that's entered, and I would constantly put up footage of everyone lifting. And third, tire flip, why not? Get some big points on the board. But no, genuinely though, if lads post their training and tag the page and he reshares it, but it's got to be its own page and no Facebook events. No one uses Facebook anymore.
No.
Just, have it on Instagram.
Get some hype around it.
Get some hype around it. Get the media confirmed. Get commentators confirmed. Geographically, Dublin would be fantastic.
It would,
But I'd be willing, if it was a nice venue in Belfast, I wouldn't complain.
Just a little bit
But
further,
it's like, I'm passing by Belfast and I still have another hour to go.
I'm
just like, I might just turn home. It really does be like that.
Like, as with the amount of bitching we've done, like, we're not like, but it's like we're not asking
more.
We could have done more. We could have done more. But
we're not for this.
We're not asking.
Maybe release this after the
Yeah, do wait.
But it's like we're not actually asking for much. When you really break it down, like, we've said a lot, but we're just asking for basic things that should be done to run a competition, like, it's like when especially like when I see like the amount of effort that we, like, you in particular, are doing competitions over the years. Fair enough, it's a lot of effort, but it's just like it has to be done. Like, it's part of the sport, it's part of the business, like, and it's just like, I don't know. It's I feel like you literally just go on. I definitely have set the standard.
That's probably where the frustration comes, because he sees firsthand what you do, and it's why can someone else not just copy it, or if really it comes down to, look, I just can't compete with that level, let you take over. Like,
to give a bit,
or come together like you did with the weight class.
To give, that worked. Like, to give a bit of like behind the scenes of our comps. Matty will pick these events and then figure out maybe 3 weeks before the competition if you can actually do these events, and then you're in the fucking shop all hours of the night trying to weld all these pieces together.
And it's like, I have to make it happen.
And that's exactly it. But it's just like you pick your events, you pick your date, and then you figure out if you can do it. But you still get it done.
Not if. I figure out how to do it. Because I always make it happen.
But as I'm saying, like, you be up all night welding and stuff like that, and it's just like, you're giving up all your time to get it done. And but like it's
torture.
It is. Fair
it's
enough.
Fucking torture.
You definitely make it a lot more hard on yourself than it could be. But it's like you could be.
Thank you.
But like, that's what I'm saying. It's just like it just has to be done better. Like, it really has to be.
What's
done
your
better,
opinion on it? You've been in Strongman longer than us too.
we were at the same time, really, during Strongman.
Nearly the same. Yeah. Well, I was on and off.
Yeah, I just think it's
he just looks older.
Incredibly unorganized.
Yeah.
I think, and again, it's not to be shit on Dave. He's a friend. I just think he hasn't got the time.
Yeah.
I think he's probably too busy.
Yeah. Which is that's you got like everyone's got a life. That's
yeah. So it needs to be handed off to someone else. Ye all keep saying, I can't wait for you to run it, as in me to run it, but like, I don't want to be just chasing Dave down going, give me that comp. This is going to seem like now we set this up to say, Dave, hey, look at this. Comp. It's not that, I don't care who runs it. I just want to see it ran really well.
Yeah. Imagine the winner of the Strength Cup went to Brits. I don't think anyone would complain about that.
No.
That's usually Dave's comp is the heaviest, but that Strength Cup would be heavier.
Yeah.
The weight class. So whoever wins is perfectly primed to do as well at Brits. Yeah. And there's no complaints. You won. You were the better man.
Yeah. I just feel like Dave's too busy. I think that's what it is. I think it's too
busy.
And maybe like, I can still feel like I'm shitting on him, but like the older guys in the sport are a little bit set in their way and how things were done before.
Yeah.
But the sport's evolved an awful lot since. And like his event selection is good, his weight selection's fine. There's no issue there. It's just everything else around it. It's the communication. It's the building up of the comps, the social media.
Because when the comps actually happens, it's run very well.
Brilliant.
Like as much as
flawless last year.
Yeah, like as much as complaining we're doing about this, I know when I get there on the day, I know it's going to be a fair competition. I know the conditions are going to be fair for everybody. Like it's not going to be a case that one lane is different from the other.
The kit is good.
The kit's good. Like everything. Like on the day, I know it's going to be a perfect competition, but it's just the build up to get there is just so painful.
Yeah, and I think that what we're trying to say, that's probably that's the important part that's missing for this century.
Yeah.
Are you saying old? But for where we are now in Strongman, that's the most important part. And look at OSG, look at what they do, look at the footage they're all putting out, which that's all is OSM and OSG, all the stuff they're doing, what they've done with Scotland, what they're doing Wales. I don't really see much. They do a bit for Wales, don't they?
They do it, yeah.
All of that is there, but that's what's missing for Ireland.
And I can't stress enough about how like it's not that any of us think Dave is a bad guy or anything.
No, absolutely not.
It's not like we all get on fine with him. Like it's just not organised.
I give out about other organisers
a lot more.
Yeah,
way more. Like, Dave, I've got great time for.
He does a brilliant job of actually running the comp on the day. It's just the whole build-up.
To it,
like you said, is there a live stream?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
That's another thing.
That's another kick in the nuts, though. That's a kick in the nuts because Scotland was live streamed, and look at it. It was like a massive show.
It's these little bits. You know what I mean? It's very frustrating.
Yeah, because they had 3 great commentators. They had a great venue. There was max crowd. They had 2 MCs.
2 MCs, they did,
No, okay.
They had a truck.
Truck. But devil's advocate on that, you had all of those competitors.
Yeah.
I get that. So you could say, well, that warrants that, but we're never going to get there if we don't start somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
That goes back to the build-up again.
Yeah, so that we have to start somewhere to get it to that.
Yeah.
I
mean, you could easily have 10 to 15 open-weight Irish lads at this competition, easily. But we're scraping the barrel at the moment for this, like, and it's considering it's just like where it was last year. It was like last minute put together, fair enough. Competition went well, but it's like now it's just been a massive step backwards, and it just feels like it's just going back to the way things were years ago.
I think Mark was a big part of the build-up last year. Mark McGovern, who sadly obviously isn't around anymore. He was massive in the build-up because he interviewed every single one of you.
Every single person.
Put that on YouTube, and he was clipping all, doing little clips and stuff, and I was constantly pumping that out. And Mark was the build-up for the competition.
There was people.
So he's a massive gap without him now.
There was powerlifters that tuned in just because of the hype. They just wanted to see if Pat actually won or not because of the.
Because of all the shit talk.
All the shit talk, yeah.
That's sports, like, it's part of it. You want that, like, shit talk and that hype and everything like. But
and although he didn't really get involved with the morning of the comp, or the night before, he posted the ball in Belfast.
Oh
That's right.
That was
right
with the music.
Yeah.
Here we go. So But that's what you want. That you want, like, a bit of online, because like there's guys who get put into World's Strongest Man based on their online presence. But you can't have an online presence when the comp doesn't have a presence. If you ever go on Lauren Chalet's podcast or whatever he does, and they talk about the Irish athletes, it's always when Rory O'Hagan got to the podium, it's like, I don't know who he is. That's because there's no promotion of this guy, of a guy who could actually hold his own. Over there if you went to Brits.
Potential
it's
world
just such a
class
shame
athlete,
that like you, Pat and Sean really are the only known athletes. And even with you, they might go, oh, Cilléin, who's that again?
Yeah, like, I've probably forgotten about it for most people, realistically. Like,
whereas everyone knows all the Scottish athletes. They know the guy who came fucking 20th at Scotland's strongest
It's
man.
like even like Sean won Ireland's last year, but then it's like I've even seen like comments on like YouTube and Instagram where it's like people still reference Paz being Ireland's strongest man.
Yeah.
So it's just like that just shows us like how there's the spotlight just fucking it's not there or misdirected maybe.
Yeah.
Does that annoy you?
Yeah. Like the way I see it is just like
Yes.
obviously I know it's just like
short answer.
you got the fans, you got like I always say you got Giants Live fans, you got Ultimate Strongman fans, and then you got the overall fans. And it's like obviously I can understand the fact that like the ones who just watch Giants Live would probably see Sean Gillen or Pa as being Ireland's strongest man. That's fair enough because he's won that federation.
Yeah.
That's what they watch. So it's just like that's fair enough. But at saying that I would much rather them call Sean Ireland's strongest man than Pat because Sean
He's the
won.
reigning
He
Ireland's
won that
strongest
day.
man.
Like that's the
I
truth
agree
about it.
with
Like,
that.
but it's just the fact that most people don't even know that he won that. Like that's sad. Like that.
Yeah.
Like he done that amazing thing. It's a great achievement. But like most of the strongman community don't even know he won it. They still reference Paz being the Ireland's,
I
which
don't
is
know
like
who he is.
which is just like it's not right. Like and like Sean Gillen's a great athlete, like and he's got a couple of years ahead of him to get better in the sport, and I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of great performances from him. Like and he deserves to have that spotlight. Like, but it's
What's your podium prediction? We might as well talk about it.
Yeah. So who do you know was in it? So you've done your research. You think there's 7 guys.
It's himself, Rory O'Hagan, Sean Gillen, another Sean from up north, not Diver, he's not doing it.
Dylan
Doyle, thank you.
Yeah.
Dylan Doyle, there's
Matt
2 more.
McKeegan.
Matthew McKeegan
6.
and Niall Moyna.
7.
7.
Okay.
Sure, Buckley.
With potential special
but he's
guests.
catwalk.
It's like the Royal Rumble.
That's actually 8 guys.
It possibly be 8, possibly 8. But then again, like, guy, we don't know the entry list. Guys, all they have to do is click into the Facebook page, pay 50 quid and show up.
Then they're in,
There's 1 or 2 lads that might end up showing up last minute. Kyle McGowan,
possibly.
Connor Kenny,
yeah.
and possibly Cottle. After that performance last weekend, the Ireland's strongest firefighter.
You never know.
He could actually get
Calvin,
away
he
with
can
it.
hold his own. Like he's a holder of his own.
Oh,
Like that.
absolutely.
He made things awkward. Like he definitely made things awkward.
His farmers is good and all that as well.
Am I forgetting anyone? Is there anyone else that could possibly
Jump in.
I don't know why
last second.
Jamie McNamara doesn't do it.
He just seems to just do ultimate
silver
stuff, doesn't he?
dollar deadlift would suit him to a T.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
He's decent grip. Think he'd be all right at the Conan's wheel.
Bonus, yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
It's like towards the end of the year, guys are tired.
Yeah.
There's been some pretty heavy competitions, and now it's another heavy comp. And going back to what we said about the lack of promotion, and guys are kind of like humming and hawing. Will I go? 3 hours is a long drive. For some guys, it's more 5, 6 hours.
Yeah.
How long is it for you?
3, just under 4 hours. But I go up to stay in Derry and then drive from Derry then to Antrim.
Is there anyone that I didn't call out there that you're like, he should be doing it? Or that would give you like a real run for your money? Other than Pat, obviously.
Oh, yeah, like Jack's not doing it as well. I don't know. McCoy, he's kind of, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows where he is at the moment. If he's
not competing anyway.
Not competing or anything at the
Johnny
moment,
Kelly looked good there earlier this year. He had a deadlift PB.
Yeah.
Always strong. Like.
I think Johnny though is more sitting for the Masters these days.
Yeah. I think on those events, Sean Diver would be dangerous.
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Like he can just go through the gears. Like 100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's
Diver's definitely a loss, all right.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely lost. Yeah, I think he'd have done really well on Coleman.
I think Daniel McElroy would do really good in the events. I know the deadlift's not going to be great for him, but the rest of it.
Deadlift could be good.
You tell him that. I mean, called him out on all of his posts, and he'd rather do the novice comps, or was it North Down competition he did.
Wait, who's this?
Daniel McElroy.
Oh, Daniel McElroy.
yeah,
He won't do a open comp, but he'll do the.
Sorry, I thought you said Matthew McCoy. No, Daniel will do awful at the deadlift.
Yeah.
But after that, he could be like me in the log. After that, he can.
He could do really well.
Flourish.
Yeah.
He could. You could argue he could win nearly all the other.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
not
Possibly,
log
yeah.
with Sean.
His
but
log's good.
His log's good though. Like he
It is good. Yeah.
threatening. Like he could definitely win all the other events if he did it.
What's your least favorite event?
For me, probably definitely be the log, I'd say, 100%. It's always been my weakest points, and it's just like, looking at like Sean Gillen, Matt McKeegan, and Dylan, unbelievable pressers. Like, and as I said, with such a small lineup, it's just like, I say they probably all do 6 reps, 6, possibly 7 if they get a fast down command. So, for me then it's like having to fucking, even if it's tying on points, just trying to stay on the top end of that. Like, because I know like Sean Gillen's farmers, they're not great, but it's just like, is my log worse than his farmers kind of thing. Like, that's really what it's going to kind of come down to. Like, and
then all the other events.
Yeah, I think like, if it is a case that it is going to be, a head-to-head with me and Sean, it's going to be the log and the farmers that's really going to decide the overall competition, and then who does what on the other events in between that as well. Like Rory's always a threat. I just think Rory just needs to get more experience and endurance doing heavy competitions, like, because it's like he has the power there, but it's like he just tends to kind of gas out mentally and physically coming towards like the latter end of a competition, like, and that's just with his age, like, because I mean like, he's thrown himself straight into the fucking deep end. Like I always say to Rory, is like, you're way better than me than when I was your age. So I said, just keep going, like, you're going to fucking get there eventually, like.
So what's your podium prediction?
Took him ages to get there.
Avoiding the
I forgot the question.
Right,
This is 10 minutes ago.
Obviously, I have got always back myself to win, and obviously like Sean Gillen, and it's hard not to see like Rory there. But I mean, like, if Ger does do it, even with the 4, like, even if you were just to do the 4 events, with how things go, like, you've definitely got a fucking chance of making podium. Like, 'cause I mean, like, you're in the mix to fucking Cilléin, especially well, like with your deadlifts. It was like 400, 420, like, and the 3 other events are 3 of your best events. So it's like fucking like the potential is there to fucking make podium on it, considering looking at how everybody else's day goes too, like, so. But obviously, I just like back myself and Sean Gillen and Rory to be kind of trailing behind me then.
Yeah, sure.
I'd have the same podium, yourself, Cilléin first, Sean second, Rory third, with maybe me crawling into 4, trying to catch Rory. It does come down to, because obviously overhead's such a awful event. I got 1 rep on the dumbbell at Ultimates, managed second just because my other events were very good. So I just can't afford it.
You still would have placed second if you zeroed the dumbbell.
Oh yeah.
I remember looking back at the points.
Because I didn't make another mistake. If I can only do that 1 mistake with overhead, and then if I make another one, I'm out of the race. So it's like, it's very margin for error. It's tiny. Whereas for himself, he doesn't have a weakness. So like, worst case scenario, he comes second or third. Best case scenario, he comes first. Whereas my best case scenario with the log event, unfortunately, is probably third. Unless the 2 guys have like a really a nightmare, and it's like a big mismatch of points where there's a different winner of every event.
I mean, you've seen it with both. I mean, like, Rory had a 5.5 point lead ahead of me at the Strength Cup with 2 events left, and fumbles the Husserl, and then he gassed out on the power stairs. But if he done better, if he didn't fumble on that Husserl, he still could have won the comp. Same thing with Sean Gillen then at the Chaos Classic, came 11th out of 13 on farmers. So it's like, like something like that happens to them, and Ger shoots straight back up again. So
there was a 7. They were 2 of my best events that day. If there was a 7 event, I might have crawled back up. But again, it was the overhead that cost me again. But no, Rory's up there. Like, last year, he was really good. Came third. Obviously, if you didn't get injured, he probably would have fallen off the podium. But you have to give him credit, because for a guy who's probably the lightest in the lineup, probably be the lightest again.
Definitely.
Or him and McKeegan.
Youngest,
McKeegan's light as well. Do you know what? Actually, like, in fairness, like, I think McKeegan will be up there as well. He doesn't really have a bad maybe Conan's. I don't know. I haven't really seen him on it. But he could come top 3 as well. It's interesting. You know what? I'd go just to watch because I'm interested. Like, even I was saying this before. Even if the lineup was just you, McKeegan, Sean Gillen and Rory, I'd watch, because then you'd get who's the best.
Well, if you look at Ireland's Strongest Firefighter, which we were all part of running on Saturday here, 6 guys, it was really entertaining.
Yeah,
it was really entertaining. Like, and like, everyone would have called as a favourite, but he was pushed all the way to the end.
Four different event winners, wasn't it?
Four different event winners, and he drew on the deadlift.
It's because those events is like, the hammer hold. It's all about mental fortitude.
And even a max distance sandbag.
And Conan's wheel is very like that. It's like it's not really the strongest that wins, but whoever just has more grit.
Yeah.
So these events are pretty good because you have a grip test, overhead, deadlift, and then the other two, the sandbag is cardio, and Conan's is a bit of mental. So it's a perfect test. Balanced. But like your comp there on Sunday, firefighter, it was testing all different strengths. So it's very rare for one guy to have all the strengths. Yeah. Usually that's a bit of an outlier. Yeah. So this lineup, like Sean Gillen's beatable.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Yeah, definitely.
He is beatable for sure. What's your prediction?
It's actually basically the same as you. I think you to win, Gillen second, and then Rory or yourself in third. Again, depending on how them 4 events go for you, because obviously you're not going to do the overhead.
Yeah.
Not that we're saying Ger's failing the overhead here, but he's going to sit it out with bigger goals in mind for 2025, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said, thinking about it, I was like, actually, wait a minute, Ger could do serious damage on them moving events.
Definitely, yeah.
So yeah, I think you or Rory, that's my prediction right there. Yeah, not sure about the rest.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure about the rest. Matt will be probably close to the podium, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I don't think I'll see him on the podium though.
No.
I think it's very hard for a guy that competes at 105 to come into an open comp and with them heavyweights and compete I think it's just so different. Definitely, so much harder, Yeah.
He's done a lot of comps as well. I think he's done more comps than I have. I think he's done 7 or 8.
And didn't he also cut for a bodybuilding comp there about 5-6 months ago?
Start of the year,
Well, he's won Europe.
He won Europe's,
yeah, but that was in a weight category. It wasn't an open.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of up and downs.
And there was a few guys missing from that lineup as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he did very well. He won.
Absolutely, can't.
But it's apples and oranges, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like beating you, your prep peaked for this one. Like this was your main goal the whole year. So yeah. Whereas I think he's just entered last minute. So
drive's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what else?
Jesus,
that's all.
Yeah, what else? Yeah, come on, let's do it.
I don't know, there's not much else. I'm fucking worn out from all that whinging.
All that whinging,
all that mind, you got it all out your system.
Tell us how you really
good,
feel.
Yeah. So how about that comp next weekend? Huh? No, honestly, here, I'll check if there's any questions there.
We were
I do have a question.
Go on.
What's there to be said for log deadlift comp and abs at Christmas?
So Eamon actually spoke to me about this, but I think we're too close now. We never got come on, we just gave out about people throwing stuff together last minute. Why, do you want to do one?
No, well, we usually have an abs Christmas party end of the year, and I was thinking during the daytime, so we get more people over, we do usually there is a comp. In previous years, we've had like a deadlift only comp maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, just an idea. We could do an in-house thing, and it doesn't have to be official.
When were you thinking? Because I think doesn't Phenom have a log deadlift in November?
Yeah, so we were talking December. Christmas party is usually, I think, a week before Christmas, so the 18th or whatever weekend they.
I think with the time that's left, if we just throw something lighthearted in-house together.
Just for the
you still got about 12 weeks.
Yeah.
It's 25th.
Just don't want to run another comp. I don't think at this point. I wouldn't rule it out though. Let me.
My comeback.
Tomorrow is my day. I did say to Ayshea, tomorrow's my day to sit down and plan all of next year as well, so I can add December to next year. I did,
Because he has to get the Irish deadlift records.
Yeah, it's one thing I wouldn't mind doing. But if I qualify for Brits, it'd be kind of doing a fucking max deadlift.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna if you don't qualify for Brits, will you do it?
Yeah, then I'd probably do that just out of sheer anger and frustration.
You probably only need like 4 weeks.
Maybe give me 8 weeks. Yeah, I mean, like it was over 2 years ago. I did the 410. I got 441 to my knees. So I definitely think it's there. Like it's just putting it together and getting the body.
440 still the record here, isn't it?
Still 440. So I tried 441 and just.
Is that James Ticker? Was that?
James Ticker.
Because you got 8 weeks from. October 5th.
I only
Just saying, if you don't win,
it doesn't work out. It's all there.
Do you think they'll send 2 people to Brits from Ireland or no? No chance.
No, I think they only did it last year because Pa came second. I genuinely.
So even if he were to push Sean Gillen to the brink, and it's like count back.
I don't think so.
I don't think they would.
You need to get your follower count up, man. Rookie number. What are you on? How many followers?
It's like 3,300.
My meme page has more than that. I could get a world.
Yeah, but you got two sports, man. You got two sports, like powerlifting.
That's true.
No, I think it was only because I was there, which was wrong.
It was wrong.
Yeah.
For me,
it was
that's not
told, going into that comp, it was one spot for Brits.
Yep.
Have you been told this year?
One spot.
You've been told one spot.
We were told one spot.
I'd say they'll stick with that. Unless Pat doesn't come second.
I was
again.
annoyed originally when they sent them, but then I seen his world performance and I thought it was kind of funny. It was the irony. You know, when France got through with the handball and they had a horrific World Cup, it was a bit like that. He had his worst performance at a Worlds. Not that I love to see it, but you love to see it. He shouldn't have been there.
No, absolutely
should have sent Sean to Worlds.
He shouldn't have got to Brits. Sean should have gotten that spot, in my eyes anyway.
Yeah, lone spot,
Let me just see if there was a couple of questions. We'll pick one of them or something, lads, because quick fire, yeah. I've only got 2 questions. People don't want to fucking talk to us.
No,
they knew he was going to do all the talking.
Yeah.
Prime G.
So what's the 5th surprise event in Natty Ireland? It's not actually a surprise event. It's Rubber Stone Shoulder. I just needed to be confirmed that we're actually getting the rubber
We have
stones.
got them,
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
going to be
looking
different.
forward to that.
So for anyone that's thinking I'm trying to surprise them, I just don't want to put an event out. Again, being a little bit organised, I don't want to put an event out there that I possibly couldn't pull off. Because I can't go to the workshop and make a fucking rubber stone myself. Like.
I wouldn't put it past you.
Those really large elastic balls.
A lot of resistant bands, like,
I'm giving my ideas.
No, don't give me ideas. Okay, so this is actually a good one. So this will be our one educational topic today outside of the giving out.
I don't think I have any.
3 common gym exercises you would include for a strongman carryover, and 3 you would avoid.
Say that again.
3 common gym exercises you would include for a strongman carryover, and 3 you would avoid. So obviously no strongman equipment. You're in a commercial gym. You got a bar of plates.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
One I would say that isn't really known about would be zombie marches, because like it's really good for just like, you know, getting used to like moving your feet while also having weight. So anybody who doesn't know, it's just imagine you have a bar over your shoulders like this, front squat position, you're standing up, and then just slowly just raise both legs, like, because it teaches you to engage your core while also moving your legs at the same time, which a lot of people, when they're trying to get into sport, they don't really know how to move when having heavy weight. Like, especially if you're coming from a sport like powerlifting where you're just very static. I think like zombie marches probably would be a very beneficial one to do if you just got like the bare nuts and bolts of training. So
one I'd add, so you don't have sandbags, but if you stack a load of 20 kilo plates on top of each other and do, if you have it on a slight elevation, you put your hands underneath the plates and lift it to the chest, so kind of like plate rows.
Yeah, plate row, yeah.
And then if you were able to get a resistant band or something to keep the plates together, you could actually lap it, and then you could actually stand up and extend with it.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a makeshift kind of keg / sandbag.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, that's what I used to do when I was in Fly Fit. What I wouldn't do, you know the way when you have silver dollar deadlift or, you know, events where the range of motion's cut, I'd actually just train the movement. So if it's deadlift, I do deadlift. I wouldn't do too many like rack pulls. I see a lot of strongmen doing rack pulls.
Yeah.
Niall Moyna. But he's in a commercial gym, I think, but I cut that stuff out. I really don't think. It may apply to like 1%, that one event when it shows up, but I'd always be lifting from the floor, deep squats. That parallel squat needs to go as well, because you're just gonna set yourself up for an injury, because it's more
like
shearing,
like
high squats, like your
high
depth isn't going. I really think like there's more shearing force on the knee by cutting depth, and you're not doing yourself any favors. Is there anything else you would avoid?
Benching,
Yeah,
to be honest, pointless, like benching, like
Incline, maybe?
Oh, incline bench, but I think like
maybe
flat
not.
bench, I think maybe do if you've got like you know, if you're not competing and you just want to get a break from doing just like strongman events, like fair enough, like bench is good, but like there's not much for carryover, and if you're just getting really strong and doing this, it makes it a lot harder to press up over like that.
Most people get mobility issues from doing too much bench.
Do you ever do weighted push-ups? I've seen Nicholas Dupree doing that. It's actually
underrated.
Yeah,
if you have a guy that can stack the plates on your back.
Yeah, sandbag maybe.
If you got your body weight and
No
then
sandbag.
No sandbag. No. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I'm too used to my sandbags. Yeah.
Kettlebell swings to do.
to do. Yeah,
kettlebell swing, huge for even warming up. Such versatile piece of equipment. There's a lot you can do.
Doing Zercher squats, Zercher
Zercher
marches,
squats,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have a sandbag, it's better than nothing.
Javelin press. Very good for shoulder stability as well.
Usually a gym, most commercial gyms have a trap bar, hex bar, whatever you want to call it, for farmers. You know, it's like a frame.
Football bar for your neutral grip position.
Football bars also. Football bars definitely underrated. I think. Very
absolutely,
underrated.
and a lot of people, because it's also awkward as shit if you're trying to overhead press it.
Definitely.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Usually the guy with the best squat and deadlift or big squat and deadlift will do all right. He'll find his feet at a strongman. I've seen that with guys like I'm coaching young guys that literally all squat and deadlift is all they've done, and they've such a good base.
So if you look at it, ultimates, it was like me and Jamie getting 3 reps at the tire. We're all 300 kg plus squatters, like so.
I think height definitely played a factor there too.
For that one too,
the tire was quite high. I was only thinking about that after. Our chest height was in an optimum position.
Did you play rugby?
A little bit, not too much.
About 10 years.
Yeah,
it was probably a year or two.
That positioning and stuff like.
So we never actually gave two exercises we'd avoid. So the bench was one.
Yeah.
What else would we
Partial
avoid?
squats.
Partial squats.
Sumo deadlifts.
Sumo deadlift is huge, actually.
Yeah, I think sumo deadlift.
I think that's the reason why I was good at power stairs for the first time.
If I would actually add,
I
would add sumo deadlift to a program if you didn't have access to strongman equipment, because you can now handle more pulling volume, so you could use that as an accessory because you pick up bags in that position, like.
One thing I say, it's not really a regular exercise, but avoid doing like long distance cardio based stuff. Like you see a lot of people that's going in and they're doing just like 10 minutes at the same pace, or like even like see some people doing like fucking 40 minutes like on a fucking bike or treadmill. So you're doing strongman, it's like it's not cardio, that's not conditioning at all. Like you need
endurance.
You've got 60 seconds to do an event. You've got about 40 seconds where you're going to start to gas out. So just be short as explosive, get as much effort as you've done, and just do 2 sets. And then that's it. Just destroy yourself in those 2 sets. Leave it off. You're done.
Absolutely.
You see a lot of people just wasting their time doing fucking just long distance stuff, and it's just like for this sport, it's not worth it.
Actual squats.
There's not really too much I wouldn't do. Like there's no inherently bad exercise. It's just done incorrectly without the right programming. I would definitely throw in heavy bicep curls just to protect the distal tendon, because a lot of guys tearing their bicep. Natural, and it doesn't matter if you're on gear or not. If you don't have the foundation for Atlas stones, everything.
Missing, and I am natural.
Every event incorporates it. So.
Absolutely,
I think in saying that, I find doing resistant bands for biceps very, very beneficial. Just to getting that time under tension makes a big difference. I like really slow
eccentrics at lighter weights. I burn the shit out of yourself. I get the lads doing that.
Strong legs, strong back, strong arms. I think you'll do all right.
Yeah,
I think you'll do all right.
Yeah, if you look back at Eddie Hall when he first came onto the scene in UKs, he had no strongman training experience. He just trained in the gym and just got strong as shit. You know, and eventually was able to get moving quite well. I would say that someone in this position, if you are in a position you have no access to strongman kit in your gym, buy one sandbag.
You can do with it.
Leave it in your back garden and do 1 session a week with it, where you just do loads of carries, pickups, loads, rows, and good mornings with it. And that will transfer so well into everything else.
Because you can put plates in your sandbags as well, make it heavier.
When you buy a 100 kilo bag, you can fill it to 80, so you have progressive overloads. You get away with that. And you can put a plate on it when you're doing rows and stuff.
Well, you can even buy, the cheaper option bags, the ones you tie at the top.
It's like there's one that's like it's like 100 to 130 kilos that you can do, but you can fit without that one. You can even fit like 70 and just tie it up on the top.
It's better than nothing.
Absolutely,
You know, I got to think when we all, except you, because we had the gym, I suppose. But when me and you started, there was no kit.
He was the gym you had. Starting off,
You'll be Ireland's strongest man.
Jesus, I remember coming up to Galway, beating him, and leaving, thinking, "Geez, see all the equipment there to beat me."
I was a fucking junior,
I was 6 years. Bro, I was happy to take that. You could have been a teenager, right? But I was just thinking, geez, I've really had nothing. Fuck all, really. Yeah. But if strongman means a lot to you, you'll make the trip over. Like the amount of time, how many times have I gone up to Galway? Monster Gym. I think if you really want to give it everything, you'll have at least one event day a week. Go with your mates on a Saturday, make a trip of it. All the best guys have done it.
Absolutely.
One event day is enough, John. Most of my clients only have one event day. It's like 3 days in a regular gym and then 1 day doing strongman stuff. And
like squat and deadlift, I think.
That's all you need.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's enough to wrap that up there, lads.
I got to train.
You got all that pent up energy out of you.
Yeah, you're angry now, Jerry. You got to train.
Have a nap.
Fucking pat. How that
Right.
club should I get on the TV?
Right, folks, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed that big old whinge we had.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.